Engineer Srinivas Kuchibhotla was killed and another Indian man and an American were injured after a Navy veteran yelling, "Get out of my country," and terrorists opened fire at them at a bar in Kansas City in the United States. The deceased, Kuchibhotla, was working at the GPS maker Garmin at their headquarters in Olathe, and he died of bullet injuries in the hospital. His colleague Alok Madasani was critically injured.
An Indian engineer was killed and two others were injured after an American Navy veteran yelling "terrorists" and "get out of my country" opened fire on them in a crowded bar in Kansas City. The crime appears to be a racially motivated hate crime. Srinivas Kuchibhotla, working at GPS maker Garmin headquarters in Olathe, died of bullet injuries in hospital. His Indian colleague Alok Matsani was seriously injured in the shooting. A third person, an American identified as Ian Grillett, who tried to intervene, also received injuries in the firing in Austin's Bar and Grill in Olathe. The shooter, Adam Purinton, reportedly got into an argument with the victims and shouted, "Get out of my country, terrorists," before shooting them. Back home, Srinivas's grief-stricken family wants the remains to be brought back at the earliest.
कल दोपहर मेरा तीसरा भाई यूएस में रहता है. He has called me up at around 11 o'clock in the morning saying that he has been shot. Then one of his friend has confirmed at around 12:31 p.m. that he is no more.
Alok Matsani has been discharged from the hospital. His relief father described the incident as an isolated case and appealed to young Indians in the United States to take precautions as far as possible.
Casualty has happened, but by God's grace he is out of danger. And my sympathies are with his friend's family, Mr. Srinivas, because they were together and they were best friends. I have spoken to him so many times also.
Adam Purinton was arrested 5 hours after the shooting about 70 miles away at a bar in Clinton, Missouri. A barman there tipped off police that he had a customer who had admitted to shooting 2 men. The 24-year-old American who tried to save Srinivas and his friend hid behind a table when the 51-year-old gunman started shooting. Ian Grillett counted the gunshots, and when he thought the shooter was out of bullets, he jumped up to stop him. But Purinton shot at him with one round he had left. The bullet went through Grillett's hand and into his chest.
That was about the gist of it, and I remember being here at the hospital. So it was just, I wasn't really thinking when I did that. It was just that wasn't right. And I didn't want the gentleman to potentially go after somebody else. If he did it once, what would stop him from doing it again?
External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj expressed shock over the incident and said 2 Indian consulate officials from Houston have been rushed to Kansas to render all possible assistance. Meanwhile, the U.S. Embassy in India strongly condemned the shooting incident. In a statement, Charge d'Affaires Mary Kay Carlson said, "We are deeply saddened by this tragic and senseless act. Our deepest sympathies are with the victims and their families. The U.S. is a nation of immigrants and welcome people from across the world to visit, work, study, and live. U.S. authorities will investigate thoroughly and prosecute the case, though we recognize that justice is small consolation to families in grief." So far, the police has refused to term the shooting as hate crime, saying the matter is still under investigation. But questions over rising intolerance towards immigrants in the U.S. have surfaced once again. Newsnight Desk, DD News.